Hi guys, back with another video for you today, and I've got a preview of a new house for you today, and I haven't done one of these probably now for a week or so, but today I'm previewing the house of Maison Crivelli, and there are 4 fragrances from this collection. They have a total of 8, and I've got 4 of them for you to preview. I really like 3 of them, obsessed with one of them, but I'm going to tell you about Absinthe Boreale, Iris Malikhân, Papyrus Moléculaire, and then also Santal Volcanique. So I'm going to tell you about these 4 fragrances, and I'll let you know which one is my favorite of the 4. I'm obsessed with it, as I said, and I think it's one of my favorite releases of the year. I'm really digging the way it wears on me. I absolutely love it. And we have 2 sample sets to give away, and the sample sets or discovery sets are 8 fragrances from the collection. That's the whole lot, to 2 subscribers of this channel from the USA and also the EU. So if you're curious to learn about Maison Crivelli, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, we've got a new house preview video for you today. And whenever I do these videos, I either like to preview 3 fragrances or more so that you kind of get an idea of the house itself or the brand. And then also I like to do giveaways, as I said, so that some of the subscribers of this channel can have an opportunity to sample them, of course, either as sample sets, discovery sets, or full bottles. But today, as I said, I'm doing a giveaway thanks to Maison Crivelli of their discovery sets or sample sets, and there's 2 of them to 2 lucky subscribers of this channel. So I'll let you know about Absinthe Boreale, Iris Malikhân, Papyrus Moléculaire, and then also Santal Volcanique. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So how many of you know this house? I know of them for quite some time. I discovered their fragrances on Instagram, of all places. And I was reached out by them via Instagram, and they wanted to send me some fragrances, and I said, you know what, sure. So they sent me a couple, and I said, you know what, I've been doing this series on my channel of introducing new houses, so let's do 1 or 2 more fragrances. So that's what I've got now. Absinthe Boreale. I'm obsessed with absinthe or licorice-y kind of fragrances. We've got Iris Malikhân, we've got Papyrus Moléculaire, and then also Santal Volcanique. So let's get started. But before I get started, actually, I should mention all the fragrances are in eau de parfum concentration, and their sizes are 30 ml for 104 euros or 100 ml for 234 euros. And of course, they also sell their discovery sets on the website as well. I have a link to their website in the info box. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going in alphabetical order. I'll let you know my favorite while I'm talking about it. But the first one I'm talking about is Absinthe Boreale. So this is a fragrance created by Nathalie Feisthauer. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but this is a perfumer I've met, and she's been a perfumer for quite some time. She's done some kind of like well-known perfumes, but now she's doing more niche brands perfumes. So this one was one that I really was excited about, and I love absinthe. As I said, I love licorice-y type of notes, and this one doesn't disappoint. It's also a fragrance that is pretty easy to wear, but it's also very frosty. You know, frosty green is what I get with this one. But it's considered an aromatic musky. I would go with aromatic spicy or aromatic woody as well, because you can, you know, get those styles when you're wearing the fragrance. So I would go with aromatic musky because that's what the brand calls it, but again, the other styles are definitely credible for this one. So for this one, I think the standout note is Artemisia, which is prominent here. And it's definitely the main player, so it gives you this kind of absinthe-like style or licorice-y kind of style. And this is a note that I really do like in fragrances, and that's one of the reasons why I was very curious about this particular fragrance. But in this one, you also have mint, lavender, juniper berries. There's lots of musks. That's why it's called a aromatic musky. There's lemon, and there's some fir balsam. So again, it's a very frosted experience. It's very cool and crisp, but also very green and very aromatic. Of course, you've got lots of aromatic notes. It's spicy, it's woody, and you know, I would go to the extent of calling it an herbal or earthy as well. So those of you that know liqueurs like absinthe, or even things like pastis, or even ouzo, and you know, just drinks like that. It doesn't really smell like full on like that, but it reminds you of those kind of drinks, you know. It's very, very, you know, clean and also crisp. I like that about this one, and very, very cool. As I said, if you go to their website, you can see what each fragrance, the inspiration is, and you'll learn a little bit more about the fragrances themselves and of course the brand. But this one's definitely a winner for me. But I feel like this one, in comparison to a few others, is more of a spring, summer, fall, where it seems to be a little on the lighter side, but it doesn't mean anything. It's fresh and also refreshing, but very, very crisp and green as well. So that's Absinthe Boreale. A great fragrance. This is one of the likes for me, and as I said, I like 3 of them a lot, and then also love and obsessed with one of them, and that one is this next one, the Iris Malikhân. So this is a perfume created, I think this is their latest launch. I should say that it's the one that's come out the latest, and this does not disappoint. Those of you that love Iris but with a green Galbanum type note will enjoy this one. And I'm obsessed with Galbanum, or Galbanum I should say, or Galbanum I should say. Some of you hate it when I say Galbanum, kind of like it when I say it that way, but it has a very, very bitter green Galbanum note in here, and it's a nice contrast to that buttery, powdery Iris note. And as I was saying yesterday in the review about buttery sandalwood fragrance, this one is buttery, but the Iris is powdery, so you experience a chalky, flaky kind of a butter rather than a smooth, creamy butter, if that makes sense. That's the experience I get with this one. But this is created by Marc Zini. I don't know this perfumer. I know of Nathalie, of course. It's so I'm curious to check out what else he's done, and I'm impressed with the quality of this one. It's a nice contrast with all the buttery powderiness of the Orris butter, which is the main star here, along with the Galbanum. Those are 2 notes that I really love. In fact, I'm obsessed with the bitter green resinous touch of Galbanum, and it does not disappoint here at all. So this one has Orris butter, Galbanum, vanilla, amber, cypress, and musks. On their website, they hint to a gourmand. It's a type of gourmand because yes, you do experience this slight gourmandy touch with this one, with the vanilla and amber, but for me it's just an interesting contrast. I just love the contrast about this particular fragrance. Just the contrast of the buttery Orris that's also flaky and kind of chalky, along with that greenish kind of bitter resinous touch of the Galbanum. I just feel like those are very, very standout notes. As soon as I smell the fragrance, I smell the Orris, then my nose goes to the Galbanum, and then afterwards I smell the vanillic touches and the amber. So does have gourmandy qualities. That vanilla is definitely prominent here. But wow, this is so good. One of my favorite smells. I mean, there are fragrances that you smell, you get impressed by, and then there are fragrances you go, yeah, that's nice, I like it, but do I really want to own it? So this is one of those fragrances that, for me, I love the way it smells. It's a fantastic smell, and loving the fact that the bitter green resinous touches of the Galbanum note is so nicely contrasted with the Iris. Now you might sample and say, okay, it's nice, but you know, there are fragrances that you have probably that you smelled and totally fallen head over heels for, and this one I have definitely. So this is definitely a woody experience, slightly leathery as well. There are some leathery touches, but definitely earthy, and of course ambery and vanillic. So I can totally see the gourmand touches, but for me it's gourmand after you get through the Orris and the Galbanum, you know? Those are what's really dominating for me. Anyway, Iris Malikhân, it's my favorite of the 4, and it's the latest release from this house. I really like it. I love it. It smells great. Alright, this next fragrance is called Papyrus Moléculaire, this one right here. And I really like the color of this one. I almost wanted the color of this one to be the color of the Absinthe Boreale, but it's close. This is just a little darker. So this one is, as soon as I smelled it, it reminded me of another fragrance, and I'll tell you what it reminds me of, but let me tell you a little details. Created by Leslie Gerard. I've heard of this perfumer. This is considered a woody aromatic. You know, it's called Papyrus Moléculaire. So the standout note here is papyrus, lots of it. It is a papyrus featured fragrance. But along with that, you have some resins, and there's also some amyris, elemi resin, olibanum, tobacco, black pepper, tonka beans. So what it smells to me of, there's a fragrance called Santal 33, right? Santal 33 is a combination of sandalwood with lots of papyrus or cypriol. So for me, they've taken the cypriol or papyrus part of Santal 33 and they amplified it in here. So it immediately reminds me of the Santal 33, but not the sandalwood, the actual papyrus note. So it's dominant with that particular note, and it's definitely like the star of the show. Like, this is what you're smelling, lots of papyrus. But it does have some slight resinous smoky touches of galbanum, a little tobacco-ish things come in. It's a green kind of an aromatic fragrance for me, and it's lots of aromatic touches. But in the end, it's very earthy again, lots of earthiness here. I find the papyrus to be very, very earthy and also aromatic, but also very, very woody. There are balsamic and resinous touches in here, and in the end, it smells spicy, you know? There is a little bit of a peppery touch under there, so you do pick that up, of course, because it's one of the featured notes in here. And of course, a little bit of a leathery touch comes in with this one as well, and some ambery undertones too. So in the end, I wasn't selecting this as one of my favorite fragrances. I love papyrus, but it just reminds me of the papyrus in Santal 33. So it wasn't one of my favorites. But if you like Santal 33, but you like the, the papyrus a little more than you like the actual sandalwood part of that fragrance, you should definitely check this one out. And in comparison to Santal 33, of course, as I said, this does not have the sandalwood. And when I smell Santal 33, I get cucumbers with that fragrance, like crunchy. It's crunchy. There's a crunchiness, like almost like wood chippings with cucumbers and papyrus. You don't get that with this one because it's all about the papyrus with the other notes, as I said. So in the end, it's different. It's not identical, but the papyrus in here reminds me of the papyrus cypriol combo in Santal 33. So anyway, that's Papyrus Moléculaire. I hope you guys get to try these fragrances because I do enjoy them, but as I said, I really love this one, Iris Malikhân. All right, the fourth and last fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is Santal Volcanique. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I like 3 of them. And I do enjoy this one, and of course I also enjoy Absinthe Boreale, but of course you know what my favorite is so far. So Santal Volcanique is, I thought almost like this would be the one that should smell like sandalwood, but here it is a sandalwood fragrance, but it's totally different than Santal 33, nothing like it. And also, it's also totally different than this. So in here, they're focusing on the papyrus note from Santal 33. This does not have that note, but it has a sandalwood, but it doesn't smell like Santal 33's sandalwood. It's a completely different sandalwood. And to me, this one I have not smelled a sandalwood fragrance like this, because for me, it's a very metallic experience. Crunchy does come in, it's sharp, there's a sharp touches in here. Crisp, I should say, more than crunchy. But this is created by Richard Ibanez, and it's considered a woody, spicy fragrance. But in the end, it's very sandalwoody and also very zingy. There's a major zinginess with this one, and that's from the ginger note in here. It's lots of ginger, so it's almost like a fusion of sandalwood with zingy ginger. But you know what else is thrown in here is coffee note. There is a coffee touch in there, so there's some sharpness, and I think this is what's giving me the sharp, kind of slightly metallic leaning qualities. There's of course some ylang ylang, some cardamom, lime, musk, and cedar. And I think it's not only the coffee note, it's the coffee cardamom combo with some of the other notes that's giving us this kind of like metallic sharpness. In the end, it's a unique sandalwood, not the creamy kind, of course, and not the Santal 33 kind, but for me, I almost feel like there's some aromatic notes in here, like there's some herb they haven't mentioned that there are. I almost feel like there's some either lavender or some geranium in here, because I pick up some very, very crisp, sharp touches, and usually aromatic notes like those go in that direction. So in the end, it's a very, very unique sandalwood, and I feel like it's definitely a great fall fragrance. You know, warm and cool days are perfect for this one because it's a unique kind of a woody experience. But it's a very, very spicy experience. So lots of woods, lots of spices, and of course, as I said, it does have some metallic touches, and I'm getting aromatic touches. I'm definitely getting some aromatic touches in here, and I feel like there's either geranium or a very non-distinct lavender. Like, it doesn't smell like lavender, you know, but I feel like the experience is like lavender. But mostly for me, it's almost like there's geranium in here. But a very, very unique wear, totally different than any sandalwood fragrances. And as I said, it doesn't smell like your typical sandalwood fragrance. It doesn't smell like anything like Santal 33 or any of those types of fragrances. Well, that's what I like about it. So that's Santal Volcanique, and that's the fourth and final fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today from the house of Maison Crivelli. I want to mention a little bit about the presentation. I think their presentation is really great. I love minimalistic looks, and this totally takes the cake. I love their font and everything, and the fragrances do spray great as well. I'm going to go ahead and spray my favorite of the four right here. Yeah, really digging this one. It is, oh man, it's so good. Iris with Galbanum. Great combination. So now to the giveaway. If you want to participate in the giveaway, there are 2 discovery sets to give away, shipped to the USA or EU. All you have to do, please make sure you're subscribed. Remember, I'm going to be checking subscribers to make sure they're subscribed, otherwise you won't qualify. I mentioned that in a previous video recently, and I'm going to do an updated video to show you who is subscribed and who is not, so stay tuned for that. But please make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Please also let me know what you liked about this video. That is required, and also let me know which of the 4 fragrances would be your favorite if you were going to go in and buying it from hearing what I told you about it. Last but not least, please put your country if you are in the EU, or put your state if you are in the USA. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about Maison Crivelli. Have you tried their fragrances? Are you curious to try them? Have you seen them on Instagram or somewhere else that you were curious? Please put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.